we used Google Maps. As I said, this is kind of very experimental, and we're just working our way into how this might work. So this is this is a map of Australia, and the blue dots here show the independent booksellers across Australia. So, and we've done that by looking at the membership of the Australian Booksellers Association, where the membership is really independent booksellers. One interesting, although not particularly useful fact, is that 5 seems to be the magic number for independent booksellers in less populous states. Tasmania, Western Australia and South Australia all have 5 independent booksellers. There are 2 in the Northern Territory, probably 3,000 kilometres apart. And as you would expect, they're all clustered, the rest are all clustered around the eastern seaboard. Then we wanted to look at chain bookstores. So we've got Dymocks in red, Collins and QBD and the Book Grocer. And interestingly, I found this interesting. It's interesting to see that the number of chain bookstores is fewer across the country than the number of independent booksellers. So independent books still dominate when it comes to the dedicated bookselling supply. I found that interesting. And then, so that's kind of perhaps the most useful set of data, in that it shows, where dedicated booksellers are clustered. We also wanted to look at how at department stores that stock books. So this gets less useful because department stores are less likely to give advice about books to individuals. But we also mapped, and it's also less useful because there's so many of them, but we mapped Target, Big W and Kmart across the country as well. So that's what that looks like. And so, obviously when it gets to that stage, and I think probably when it comes to looking at school and public libraries, there'll be a kind of a similar, large volume, if not larger. And then, we'll have to, it will only kind of become interesting once we've mapped the concentrations of young populations across the country, across the top. So that's where you start looking at a more granular level. So you can say, well, in the north of Queensland, what access does this young population have to, what number of bookshops and types of bookshops are there within walking distance of this area, what number of school libraries are there, and public libraries. So, at the moment we're still very much focused on bookshops, and still in this kind of, looking at the nation, whereas it will have to become much more granular as we go on.